Greetings, everybody, and welcome back to Wolfinia. This is episode 289 of my Minecraft survival series, and in the last episode, we finished up work on the crown here in the Waterside District. We, of course, got both of our beacon towers in here on the crown. And I believe it was in the episode prior to that, we got our beacon power towers in here, located in various places throughout our city. And I like most of them, for the most part, but there are some that I'm not 100% satisfied with. For instance, this one here in the rotunda, you can already see it peeking up. It takes up a lot of room. And on top of that, it's kind of an eyesore, I think. But this is not the only beacon power tower I'm dissatisfied with. Another one I'm dissatisfied with just happens to be over here in the Grand Rotunda in the approach entrance to our city. And this one suffers from the same problem. It is just too big. Oh, little hiccup there. But yeah, as I was saying, you know, look at it. It overhangs the railing. It's too big. It takes up too much space. We're gonna need to do something about this. Now, one of the things I was considering was kind of rearranging the rotunda here, just kind of moving stuff around. For instance, this walkway that you can see right here, it leads down to the bottom area. I was thinking what we could do is we could take this walkway and push it back against the far wall over there, have it hug the wall on the way down. And that would give us a lot more open area here at the center, but it would get rid of this foliage around the outside, and I do kind of like this. And obviously that wouldn't work for the other rotunda, but there is another option, and the second option, it would work for both rotundas, I think. See, what we need to do here is we need to think vertically, because we do have plenty of room down below each of these beacon towers to actually lower them down some in their respective rotundas. And I think that's something we could easily do. We're not going to bring them down like, oh, I'm dying. Hold up. Let me head down here real quick. We're not going to go all the way down here because that would be ridiculous. We're just going to go down far enough to just kind of clear some space, you know? How do I get back up? Here we go. Just to clear some space and make it not look so crowded up in the rotunda. So this way, Mr. Wolfens gets what he wants. He gets his beacon towers in the rotundas, and I don't have to deal with the eyesore. It's win-win. So that is what we're going to do. We got two beacon towers we're going to lower down into the ground, and that is how we're going to kick off the episode. So at this point, let's go ahead and call the drone on over here, put on a little bit of music, and get to work. Welcome back, everybody. At this point, I am all turned around. We have our beacon power towers in each of our rotundas. And I guess it would have made sense to have a peek at this one before making our way over here, but we're already flying over this way. So we're going to have a peek at the beacon power tower in the Grand Rotunda first. There it is down there, as you can see. And I like it because down there it gives a lot more verticality to the build. Because it is further down, it just makes it look like a taller structure in general because the floor is now much lower. And it does a great job, I think, of unobstructing this view as we proceed down here. Even from the bottom, you can't even see the thing because it's way down there. And I do like that a lot better. Now, much of the same could be said for the power tower, the power tower over here at the old rotunda. You can see the beacon beam sticking up, but the beacon power tower itself is way down there. And that offers a lot more verticality to this build. It makes it look like a much taller structure, and I like that a lot. The rotunda here is one of my favorite builds in Wolfinia, and I think probably even more so now that it's taller, right? That it's taller and the view is unobstructed and it's just got this additional stuff going on down here at the bottom. Now, one of the reasons why we constructed these power towers in the first place was so we could easily get down there and access our beacons and stuff like that. It's a little bit more complicated now because doing so would require a bit of jump boost assisted parkour to get out, but it's not too difficult or anything. Final jump, and easy peasy. Now, there is a somewhat easier way of doing this. It's kind of obvious. You can just go up the water right here and just get up to the top that way. See, boom, we're already at the top of the power tower. But that is slightly less fun. See that, Piggy? You didn't see it, did you? No, because that's your butt. Now, as you probably noticed, I have been in the mood to touch on some old builds lately, and there are some old builds here in the business district that I think could use an upgrade. And it's not that I don't like these builds, I do like them, but it's more just the roofs I have a problem with. Because if we look at our newer roofs on our newer structures, they're much more exciting, much more dynamic. And I do like these a lot better than these, the old 45-degree angle roofs that we did here back when we first started building in this world. And I think that I might want to update these roofs. And I've been giving this a lot of thought and a lot of consideration. Like, do I really want to go back and change up these old historic builds here in Wolfinia? And I think the answer is yeah, why not? So right now, I'm just kind of going through and marking some of the roofs that marking some of the roofs that I will want to update. And it's not just limited to the business district. As you can see, even out here in the farm district, there are plenty of roofs that will need a little touch up. You know what? There's a lot of roofs that need to be updated. I'm over here at the approach, and yeah, some of these are going to be marked for a little roofing as well. Renovations are coming. This is going to take a while, probably a lot longer than I thought. It'll be several episodes worth of updating roofs, but in the end, I think it will probably be worth it, maybe. Regardless, that process starts today. We're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to pick a couple builds here in the business district. We're going to raise our standards here in Wolfinia as far as building goes. At this point, let's go ahead and call the drone on over there, put on a little bit of music, and update some old builds. Okay, welcome back, everybody. At this point, we do have some updates here in the business district of Wolfinia. We'll start with the updates I like first. So down here, you can see we have the enchanted pickaxe with a whole new roof on it that we can check out from standing on this other new roof. And you can see the roof is a lot more interesting, a lot more dynamic now. I also changed up our enchanted pickaxe sign right here, added some block variety as well as some of the frog lights, you can see right there. Overall, I do think it fits in a lot better with some of the newer structures here in the city. I think it's very much an improvement. Let's go ahead and have a peek at it from over here, just get some different angles. Or I guess you saw the different angles where we were building, right? Other design changes. I added a hanging sign right here, and I do think I like the hanging signs better than these old signs, but I am keeping the old sign because, you know, it's kind of iconic to this build. Historic, you know, even. From this other side here, you can see how the roof looks on the enchanted snack bar side. We do also have a new sign for the enchanted snack bar, though it's closed at the moment because we have an allay infestation in here. We will find a new home for those guys eventually. But in addition, to the enchanted pickaxe, we did update the other roofs here in the New Moon Mining Company. Since they are owned by the same company, I decided to keep the roofs cohesive, as you can see. And then we have the Farming Operations Office of Luna Buildings here. The name, by the way, doesn't make any sense, but you can see the buildings here are very aggressive. The roof shape is very aggressive. And I think the shape of it actually works, like the angle to it, the aggressive angle to the roof. I think it does work with this build because the build itself is very aggressive with the blocks placed all over it. The thing I don't like, though, is the deep slate. Not crazy about the deep slate. As you can see with both of these, I added some deep slate details in there to try to make them work. And, you know, I tried to like, but I don't think I like. So we're probably going to end up restoring these to their original block palette. You know what else we're going to do? We're going to rename these builds. This is the Wolfinia Office of Operations Farming, otherwise known as Wolf. And this is the Wolfinia Office of Operations Farming Enforcement Department instead of that nonsense. Now, I can't take that sign down because I can't officially change the names here without Mr. Wolfen's permission. So Wolfed is not 100% official, but I don't think Mr. Wolfen's is going to have a problem with it. Now, let's take a moment to talk about why I did what I did with these buildings. There's a lot of stone brick over in this area. As you can see, it kind of gets lost. It blends together. Now, as I said, I want to revert these buildings to their original block palette, which means re-adding the stone brick to it. So I think I'm going to do that. But what we can do to differentiate it is replace this stone brick right here, or I guess all the gray stuff, replace all the gray stuff with what we did over here with our beacon fountains. Replace it with prismarine and copper to kind of set it apart from the builds behind it. That way nothing's getting lost behind the monument. And that's what I think we're going to get ready to do. We're going to change up this area yet again. All right, I am ready to retouch the Wolf offices once more in this episode. Might do a couple other roofs if we have time. I don't know. We will see. But at this point, let's go ahead and call the drone on over here, put on a little bit of music, and get back to work. Welcome back, everybody. So, at this point, we have reverted these buildings back to their original block palette. And I do think I like that much better. I like that much better with the original block palette that we had, just with the more aggressive roofs. I think that is an improvement. I would call that an improvement. And as you can see, it's not getting lost behind this monument anymore because the monument is now a different color. Of course, the copper will continue to weather over time like that right there. It'll become more green. Overall, I do like it. Additionally, we also did a little bit of work to the roofs over here at Dunder Minecraft and to our cactus farms across the way. No major structural changes to speak of there, though we did add a little bit of the cobbled deep slate in here, again, just to break up the sea of gray that seems to be overtaking this area right here. And actually, Wolfinia's Forge could stand a block palette change. As you can see, I do have my stuff down here because that's something we'll probably do at some point in the near future, maybe next episode. Because I don't know, just looking over here, the gray is just too gray. Like, we could do that, or we could, I guess, get started on the walls out here dropping down to the water. I mean, that would be a huge improvement to the city. I just don't know that I want to get started on a new project this close to episode 300, because it definitely wouldn't be done by then. But the improvements to old builds, that could potentially be, or at least some of them, you know, we might be able to get some of them knocked out by then. And I do think, just looking at this, that it might actually be worthwhile. But that is all the time I have for today. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please be sure to hit that little thumbs up button. That would mean a whole lot to me. And if you want to see more of Wolfinia, please remember to subscribe. But as always, I just want to thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I deeply appreciate it. And until next time, I hope you enjoyed your stay here in Wolfinia. I will see you guys later.